Hello everyone, welcome to Rainbow Infinity. Today I'll be reading Art Inspired's Tia and Her Tea. If you like the reading, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Please enjoy. The world is on fire, Princess. Princess Celestia took a slow, measured sip of her tea, savoring the delicate floral notes. Every pony else simply nodded in compliance at her statements, all except for one pony who was headed straight for Her Highness from across the room. Hardly any pony had noticed his presence until he had reached proper lighting. "Your Highness?" he asked modestly, but more forwardly than most. Then, all of a sudden, "Your Highness!" He wore mostly red, had a stern look on his face, and donned a rather handsome mustache. "Oh," Celestia calmly sighed while rolling her eyes. "Here we go." "It's time," he said malevolently. "I've waited patiently. Now, let me have my turn with you." A guard standing next to Celestia looked at him curiously, but Celestia hoofed at him, saying he didn't mean it like that. Standing up, she announced to every pony while getting a better look at him, "This is my new—" She leaned in closely towards him and asked quietly, "What's that stupid title of yours called again?" He proudly said, "I am the new Royal Disaster Advisor." "Right," Celestia said. "The new—" whatever in Tartarus he just said. She sat back down gracefully, and a fellow female pony asked Celestia, "Why do we need one of those, Your Highness?" Celestia looked at her and shrugged. "I honestly don't. He had just arrived a few minutes ago begging for the job. I just thought this would be nice for a change." She stared at him a moment longer just before he spoke up, and observed his glossy, slicked-back mane. He was also fairly toned, and with effort, tall enough to reach Celestia's muzzle at least. "May I begin?" he asked sternly. Celestia hoofed and said, "Hit me with your best shot." The Royal Disaster Advisor snarled and said with anger in his voice, "Well, for starters, how dare you like tea over coffee?" Celestia lowered the cup that was still grasped by her magic, and with a smile she said, "This is entertaining already. Don't you know that coffee gives you energy? Energy that you need in order to make the right decisions throughout the day? Tea doesn't give you half of the energy that coffee does." It was a perfect blend, both calming and refined, and utterly necessary for enduring the endless stream of catastrophe pouring from her new Royal Disaster Advisor's maw. And then, of course, there's the matter of the rogue griffins attempting to establish an independent trade route through the eastern mountains. Oh, and did I mention the sea serpents are demanding a new tax exemption on imported pearls? Celestia placed her cup down with a graceful clink and folded her hooves in her lap. Yes, of course. Please, continue." She had long mastered the art of appearing deeply engaged while, in reality, focusing only on the taste of her tea. She took another light sip and sighed happily at her choice, having been the herbal. "This is perfect," Princess Celestia announced from her beautiful perch within the throne room. Celestia sipped, and then stated quite boldly, "I like it this way. Coffee tends to give me the shakes." He rolled his eyes and continued, "Also, how dare you send a filly to Tartarus?" "How dare I?" Celestia asked rhetorically. However, the Royal Disaster Advisor didn't seem to get the rhetorical part. "Yes, how dare you?" "How dare you?" "How dare I?" Celestia nodded with a snicker. "How dare you?" "How dare—" "Oh, sweet Luna, you've pulled a Bugs Bunny on me." Celestia began to laugh childishly and said, "My apologies." She sighed, and after she had caught her breath, Celestia said, "No, but please, continue." The Royal Disaster Advisor scowled, but regained his composure quickly, straightening his red coat and twirling the end of his rather distinguished mustache. He cleared his throat. "Very well," he huffed. "If you wish for me to continue, I shall. Because, Your Highness, it gets worse." Celestia, still sipping her tea, simply raised an eyebrow. "Oh dear," she said, her voice dripping with amusement. "Indeed. First of all," he stomped his hoof dramatically, causing a faint echo in the throne room, "the state of Canterlot's bridges is atrocious. There are cracks in the stonework. Cracks, Your Highness. Do you know what happens when cracks are left unchecked?" Celestia, resting her cheek lazily against one hoof, hummed in thought. They add character? They collapse! He barked, his mustache twitching. And then do you know what happens next? Chaos! Disaster! Ponies falling into the abyss! Trade routes disrupted! Economy in ruins! Celestia blinked. All that? Over a few cracks? Yes! He thundered. And speaking of disasters, let us talk about your taxation policies. Celestia groaned. Do we have to? Yes! Your tea imports have reached an all-time high, and yet, do you know how much funding has gone into coffee production? Practically none! Celestia snorted into her teacup. You really are obsessed with coffee, aren't you? This isn't about me. This is about Canterlot's future. A future in which ponies are not falling off bridges while under-caffeinated. Celestia took a delicate sip, her eyes twinkling with mischief. You know what? I think I'll start importing more tea. The Royal Disaster Advisor gasped, clutching his chest as if she had just struck him with a spell. You wouldn't dare. Oh, I would, she said with a smug grin. He pointed an accusatory hoof at her. This is why Equestria is constantly on the brink of disaster. Celestia tilted her head, the picture of royal serenity. And yet, somehow, we always make it through. The Royal Disaster Advisor opened his mouth, then shut it again, visibly fuming. This is going to be a long job, isn't it? Celestia beamed. I certainly hope so. You're very amusing. With that, she took another sip of her tea, utterly content, while her new advisor dramatically flipped through a stack of reports, muttering to himself about economic collapse and coffee shortages. Yes, this was shaping up to be quite the entertaining arrangement. Thank you for listening in. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Until next time, stay tuned.